It's that time again. I didn't think I'd make it today. It's Tuesday, by the way, 2 o'clock. This morning, 9 degrees centigrade, 48 Fahrenheit, 57% humidity, 1007 millibars, and the flag all day. What's it doing? I don't know what it's doing. It's going round and round. There must be a kind of cyclone or whatever it's called around, like a vortex around the pole. It doesn't know. Oh no, hang on a minute. It's a north wind now. Oh, we don't want that. No, hang on, it's west. No, it's north. I don't know what it's doing. There's a load of work going on outside. Banging, hammering, sawing, chiselling and all this stuff. And I thought, well, I can't record with all that going on. But I think they're having a break from whatever work it is they're doing. So here I am. I was reminded the other day of my time back in the 1960s, early 70s in the radio and TV workshop. I had completed my apprenticeship and I was repairing tellies, tape recorders, radios, all that sort of stuff, you know. And this chap was in the workshop. I saw him wandering around, older than me. I was, I don't know, early 20s. He was mid-20s, whatever he was, late 20s. I saw him wandering around, strange-looking chap. I didn't know who he was. I didn't take much notice. I was repairing a tape recorder at the time. I remember that specifically. I don't know why, but I do. Anyway, I didn't take any notice. He wandered about, and he was there most of the morning. Then into the afternoon, he was wandering around. I remember I had a toothache, only mild toothache. I was holding my face, moaning a bit. Oh, look at me. Oh, no. No, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. But I was holding my face and sort of frowning and making a noise, I suppose. I had chipped a tooth. That's what it was. Someone earlier had given me a sweet and it was hard, and I bit it and chipped a bit off a tooth. So my tooth was aching. Anyway, this chap came over to me. I was working on the tape recorder, and he came over and he said, "What's the matter with you?" He was a bit grumpy, actually, just like that. "What's the matter with you?" I said, "Oh, just a bit of a toothache. I've chipped my tooth." And he said, "Well, you're no good to us like that. You might as well go home." His exact words, "You're no good to us like that. You might as well go home." I had no idea who he was. I said earlier he was strange. He was diamond shape. Imagine the middle of him, his waist, sticking out. Then it goes in to the top of his head. And then from the waist down, it goes in like a diamond. You imagine? So from the top out and then down to the feet going in, just like a diamond. In fact, I called him Diamond. Not to his face. He did overhear me once. I won't go into that. Anyway, he said, "You might as well go home." So I said, okay, yeah. He wandered off. I didn't go home. It was only a mild toothache. I knew what it was. All I had to do was pop into the dentist at some stage and get it sorted out. So I finished the tape recorder and whatever else I was doing. As the days went by, he was always in the workshop. And people were saying, "Who's that? Who's that bloke?" He was known, after a week or two, he was known as Noggin. Why he was Noggin, I don't know. But I didn't like him at all. And apparently he was the new workshop foreman. Do you know what a foreman is? Oh, I don't really. What's that? Now I've got news flashes now. A foreman, Foreman, sort of in charge. Now our workshop foreman was Ron. I liked Ron and he liked me. He was an old double my age at least, in his 40s. He was all right, old Ron. He was brilliant, knew everything. Anything and everything about tellies, electronics, he knew it all inside out. This other bloke, no one liked him. I don't know why they called him Noggin. Anyway, I called him Diamond, amongst other things. He was there for a few weeks, maybe 2 or 3 months. He was there, sort of being in charge, walking around. I never saw him do any work. He just kind of walked around. I just thought it very odd because we were a really good group in the workshop, a good group of lads, of all ages. And we all got on so well. We knew each other. We had the banter. He came along and basically ruined it all. It spoilt it. It spoilt the whole, what's the word? You know what I mean. The whole kind of atmosphere and the banter we had. He wasn't liked at all. Luckily, he left, which was a result. He left. But I just wondered, I was thinking of this in the night. Have you ever had anything like that? You've been perhaps in an office or a shop, wherever it is you worked, everything's been fine. Then someone new comes along, in charge, they're the boss. Raise rants at protonmail.com. I don't know, I was reminded of that and I can't remember who reminded me or why. or what it was. Anyway, how are you? Are you all right? I hope you're keeping well. Oh, I know what reminded me. It was Jack Hargreaves. He was talking about something on a farm and some farmhand. I can't remember exactly. Do you remember Jack? There's another. What's going on? We're getting news flashes all over the place. Yes, Jack Hargreaves, Out of Town. I used to love that programme when I was younger. In the 80s, well, wasn't that young. Was I in the 80s? Yes, in 81 I was 30 years old. 30 years old. Only seems like yesterday. I remember it well, 30 years old. I used to love Out of Town, all about countryside stuff. A lot of these news flashes are to do with the two ships, that collided in the North Sea. Have you heard about that? There was a cargo ship, went right into the side of an oil tanker, which was anchored. I think the oil tanker was carrying aviation fuel, kerosene or something. The cargo ship only had empty containers, but the containers had been carrying cyanide, sodium cyanide or something, so that won't do the fish much good if that leaks out. Apparently the one that went into the side of the tanker was doing 16 knots. Now that's about 20 miles an hour, they said on the telly. So I don't know how that happened. How can it happen? In these days of electronics, radar and all this stuff, surely the radar system on it would have an alarm to say you're heading at 16 knots right into the side of another ship that's at anchor. Beep, 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 warning, danger, danger. Will Robinson, I don't know, but it's a disaster. I believe people have been killed. One of the ships is on fire. It's just dreadful. 10 miles off the east coast of the UK. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I've got my list here. There we are. To do, shed roof, cherry tree, blah, blah, blah. Bedroom ceiling, seal the shower cubicle. Yesterday, I actually had some result. I went out and bought some silicone sealer for the shower, and I bought some fence panels, and they fitted in the back of the car, 6 foot by 3 foot, and I've replaced the fence panels in the front garden, and it looks really nice. I've got to creosote them yet, but I'm actually beginning, would you believe, to tick things off my list here. Front fence panels, there we are, tick. I'm getting somewhere at last. Oh, Gary, by the way, Gary the tortoise, he's been coming out of his house in the shed, coming out of the warmth, down his ramp, wandering across the lawn, having a look round, so he's all right. He's back into the land of the living properly now, eating like there's no tomorrow. Trish said he's like me, he's always starved. I think she's right. Went to our first barbecue this year at sister-in-law's, Trish's sister. That was last Sunday. Weather was a bit chilly, we sat indoors, but we did have a proper barbecue, well, a gas one, a gas barbecue. I had a brick one here that I built. We used it for years and years, the old brick barbecue. In the end, I got fed up with it. We've got perhaps 20 or more family members here and 1 or 2 friends. I'm standing at the barbecue for most of the day, mucking about with things. The heat from the barbecue was too much. The sun is beaming down on me and boiling my head. I couldn't go and join in the chatter and the sitting around in the sunshine drinking beer because I'm busy at the barbecue. So I pulled it down. I knocked it all down. That's the end of that. We do have people round in the summer, but I don't stand at the barbecue. What Trish does now is prepare all the food. It's all in the kitchen. Go and help yourself to whatever you want, which is the best thing, I think. Also, charcoal is getting a bit expensive these days. The proper charcoal. It was nice cooking food over charcoal, I must say. Far better than gas. I mean, if you're going to use gas on a barbecue, well, why not do it on the gas cooker in the kitchen? There's no point. I don't like gas barbecues. You're all saying, oh, we've got a gas barbecue. Nothing wrong with it at all. Yeah, well, I like the real thing because you can pour methylated spirits on it and petrol. I did that once. I chucked a little cup, just a tiny lid of an aerosol thing full of petrol. I threw it on the barbie. Whoosh, it went like that. Woof. And daughter number 3, you shouldn't do that. That's dangerous. Oh, goodness me. Health and safety. Don't worry about health and safety. A bit of petrol didn't hurt anyone. It really did go woof. Lovely, jubbly. Right, I shall leave you in peace. I remember, just before I go, one bonfire night when I was a kid. I was 10, 11, 12 years old. My dad, we had this huge bonfire in the garden for firework night, Guy Fawkes and all that. We had the guy on top, and we were having a job lighting it. So my dad went and got a can of petrol and he tipped it into some sort of big jug or something, threw that on it. There was a little flame there already. So, of course, the whole thing, it just exploded. Woof! And there's bits of bonfire flying around the garden. Excellent. See, so he taught me how to do that. No, it's not good. Don't throw petrol on fires. It's not good. And also, don't chuck water on your frying pan if that's on fire. You chuck water on that, you'll have yourself and the whole kitchen on fire. Behave yourselves. Be good. Don't set fire to anything. Health and safety. I know it's all gone mad these days, but, it is there for a reason. Health and safety, isn't it? It's to protect us, although it does go a little bit over the top at times. Right. I might see you Sunday. I might not. Hopefully I will. So you take care. Look after yourselves. Be good, be bad. Don't get caught. And thanks, as always. Thank you for listening. Love talking to you. Bye-bye for now.